Good morning, everybody. We have a special guest here, College Baseball Weekly, Murray State Racers head coach Dan Skirka. Coach, I appreciate the time. I appreciate, uh, taking this. I know you're busy right now doing fall ball, but you know, how has everything been there? This fall, transfer portal, underclassmen, upperclassmen. How the all season go, Coach?
Yeah, fall's going well. It's rolling along. We've had beautiful weather, so we've been out there as much as we've needed to be, and 20 newcomers. So we had 19 returns and 20 newcomers. Only one freshman, kind of unique. Didn't draw it up that way, but we just kind of added JUCO guys and some portal guys, and it's going well. It's going well. They're acclimating and getting up to speed, and our returners are doing a great job leading them. So, very, very pleased so far.
Coach, I was amazed at your story, but I interviewed Mitch before he went over to South Florida, and then I actually made time to go to the Missouri Valley tournament when they had it there in Evansville, and Evansville is a couple pitches or a couple calls away from upsetting Tennessee that year. We know when Mitch was at Indiana State, he hosted a regional. Coach, what can you say to your conference, the Missouri Valley Conference, that you guys have had this success in the NCAA tournament? And the beauty of that, I talked to one coach, Coach Valenzuela, all the way out there at St. Mary's, and he was saying the thing he loved about baseball, you make the right pitches, defense, anything can happen. It's very different than college football or basketball. But what can you say specifically about your conference, Coach? Because when I'm covering, Coach, early in the year, a lot of the schools I know they have midweeks. After midweeks, they got the weather. I know you're kind of there on the borderline of Tennessee, Kentucky, but you obviously don't have the weather they have in Gainesville, and that's no shot at any SEC school. All those coaches are great guys. But what is it about this conference, man? I'm very impressed.
Yeah, like you said, there's challenges to our conference, and I think sometimes the win-loss record isn't a great indicator of how strong the league is. There's a lot of teams that aren't outside as much and are on the road a whole lot, and hard to find a rhythm when you're outside and inside and playing and then not playing. And I think that's the toughest thing early on for our league. But the thing, like you just touched on, that's a great indicator is how well we've performed in the postseason. So the league's a gauntlet. I mean, there's no easy weekends, and that prepares you, right? There's great coaches, there's great players, and that's what's going to prepare you to, obviously get into our tournament and be ready to make a run. But then whoever comes out of that tournament to go be prepared to do some damage in a regional, and like Indiana State was hosting regionals, it was unbelievable. And that's a better indicator, I think, of how strong our league is.
Right. And then Evansville, I'm looking at some of the pictures. I'm going to watch my mouth. I'm getting try. I'm like, man, Evansville, they brought the pain in that Knoxville regional a year ago, Coach. I was like, okay, so very impressive. Would you say, Coach, that helped you in recruiting? Because a lot of times in this transfer portal era, people want to transfer up. I'll give you an example. In the fall, I a lot of times cover FCS football and a little Big 12 football. But when I go to those places like North Dakota State, South Dakota State in football, I'll be looking around like, I wouldn't want to transfer nowhere. I got everything I need here. So would you, you know what I mean? So would you say that run to the College World Series let everybody know, like, hey, you can come to Murray State and you can accomplish all your dreams and goals right here in Murray, Kentucky?
Well, I think more than just the Omaha run, people kind of got an inside view into our team and our culture. And I think that's what the recruits and the parents talked about more than winning. And I told them that, everybody we talked to, I can't promise you we're going to Omaha. I can't promise you any championships, but I can promise you that culture is real. Our guys loved each other. They play the game the right way. We have fun, we compete, and we develop men. And I think that was kind of shown throughout our run. And then we're very blessed with the media coverage that we got to kind of display our program and the great guys that we have and great assistant coaches within the program. And I think that's what some of these portal guys this summer wanted to be a part of.
Absolutely, Coach. And you're scrimmaging. First part of this question, Coach, scrimmaging wise, How were your scrimmages? And secondly, what do you think about the difference? Because I remember a couple of years back, you just kind of scrimmage your own guys. It wasn't so much. So we think about this new era of college baseball where people are scrimmage. I covered one coach down in Texas, and Texas hosted Texas Tech at what was the AAA affiliate, Round Rock. So what do you think about this new format? I know in college football, Coach Gundy hinted to it. Coach Prime hinted to it. Let's make with the transfer portal. Let's make it fun. So how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I like it. It really breaks up the monotony of the fall. Just playing ourselves and facing the same pitchers and not traveling at all. It can get monotonous and being able to get out and compete against somebody and kind of learn a little bit about your team is exciting. We actually tried to get more scrimmages. Our coaches association was pushing to get to 4. Just to do it more. Softball's allowed 7 or 8.
Right.
We're like, man, two just isn't enough with this many pitchers. So
right.
Sometimes that's tough to navigate. We played 15 innings against SEMO early in the year, early in the fall. Both sides pitched it really, really well. Played pretty good baseball. Tried the fastest 15 innings I've ever been a part of. But it was good because we got some pitchers out there early. It was in September. It's like, okay, this guy did well. This guy, and it was good. And you face somebody else that was really trying to get you out.
Right.
And lets me, to be honest with you, as the head coach, kind of just focus on my team. When we're doing an inter squad, there's 18 players that are playing, and I'm trying to coach them all, and have this conversation. But then you miss 3 plays, and it's like, playing against somebody else, it's a lot better to just focus on us and see how we can do. Then we just played Vandy last Friday night.
Okay.
They're loaded. They're loaded on the mound.
Yep.
Pitched the snot out of it, man. It was, but it was good to see. There was a good crowd. Friday night, they played LSU with football Saturday, so there was a good crowd there, and just get some guys, with that, you could tell our guys were amped up and ready to go. So it was good to see, right? They beat us both games. We had a couple bad innings, but there was a lot of bright spots for us, and now we can take that and build on it.
Exactly. You can see what you're working with going into,
Yes,
January, February. Well, Coach, the last question. I ain't gonna hold you. Your athletic department said, try not to go too long. So, and I respect them, getting me in contact with you. So, all right, here's the fun questions, Coach. Before I get out of here, I'm a lifelong Phillies fan. Loved them since the '80s. Lenny Dykstra, you name it, John Kruk, whatever. Coach, I just don't get it. They have a good year this year, and then all of a sudden they fold at the end. We got the pitching, everything. We got the lineup even better with Harper. And we got the DH. So it's very frustrating. So what I'm getting at, Coach, is who do you have in the World Series and how many games?
Oh, the Dodgers are tough. We actually just kind of showed our guys some videos on the Dodgers the other day. They're spending more than anybody else on players, but their players do it the right way. When you got guys like Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, and
Right.
they got 2 strike adjustments, and they're playing defense at a very high level, and then obviously you got Ohtani and the player he is on both sides of the ball. I mean, I don't know anybody that's going to go against the Dodgers right now. So I said 5 the other day at practice. Lucky if it goes 6. I think they're too good.
Yeah, I was so shocked, Coach, the way they shut down Schwarber and Harper. I mean, and because that's usually your advantage, making them come to Philly and play in the colder weather. And Coach Dave Roberts, he's done a phenomenal job managing that team to, get them to play like that in the postseason.
Yes.
So, well, Coach, I appreciate your time. Best of luck.
Oh, thank you.
I definitely need to get out there to Murray, Kentucky during the season and cover a series. Best of luck to you, man. Yes,
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
Thank you.